The truth behind a sneaky Dodgers trade has been revealed, as Esteury Ruiz has been traded to the Miami Marlins for a very young pitcher. We're going to be breaking not just the trade down, but also what this means going forward, as one big key has been done by this trade going down. We're going to be breaking it all down here in this video. Before we do jump into it, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button. Join us here on the channel. We're covering everything Dodgers, and as the new year approaches, there are still many massive free agents remaining, and we're going to be covering everything going down with those guys and the Dodgers here until they're signed here in the new year. But let's jump straight into this, and of course, as of yesterday night, a trade did go down detailing a very interesting kind of set of moves that are going to be made by the Dodgers. Now, initially starting off, Sleeper Dodgers put this out from Alden Gonzalez. The Dodgers are trading Esteury Ruiz to the Marlins. Of course, per Alden Gonzalez, and in return, they do get an 18-year-old pitcher, Adriano Marrero, from the Marlins in return, a pitcher from Cuba who has one season in the Dominican Summer League, and we're going to kind of jump into him here in a little bit, but of course, this is simply an added bonus, and we know the Dodgers, at the end of the day, pretty good when it does come down to making sure they have a possibility of winning every single trade. And although Esteury Ruiz, who spent quite some time in AAA this year, traded from Oakland down, of course, to the Dodgers at that point after going ahead and stealing a crazy amount of bases. Now moving on. But this one thing is done for a roster move. Having a possibility of adding a player, now having a spot open on the roster, is the big thing here for the Dodgers, really putting out some thoughts that another move is coming. We're going to jump into that here now in a second, but when we do take a look at Adriano Marrero, 18 years old, 6'3", 184, he's a big kid already, and you're going to see him grow and continue to grow a little bit more, and gives the Dodgers, a pretty good possibility of seeing one of these big absolute flamethrowers. And of course, at 18 years old, still has a lot to learn. And what better system to be in than the Dodgers? So, like I said, sprinkling that on top, and continuing on with the stats, 382 ERA, in 10 games, 10 starts, 33 innings. So not a whole lot, not a major sample size, but definitely a very interesting kid. And doing that at 17 years old, who knows what the future does hold for him, although this trade is not specifically, for him necessarily, and, of course, no disrespect there whatsoever, but this trade was done to create and open up a roster spot for the Dodgers, and we know that something has to be going down for this to happen. The Dodgers community on Twitter, on Reddit, wherever, you kind of looked after this trade, got a bit of a buzz starting to see a roster move being open because everybody knows what that means. And going now into it, there's still quite a few names that are available. We know that there are really only a select few that the Dodgers are at least very in on. And as we know, Bo Bichette being one of them, his market seems to be kind of coming together at this point right now. We know the teams, but things, there's kind of a buzz around the atmosphere right now surrounding Bo Bichette. And, when you're looking at the depth chart right now, and this is from ESPN, so there are, once again, of course, Michael Conforto, not on the team anymore, is still kind of from last year, but we get an idea of where things are coming from, what the Dodgers need, the positions. You start to see it, and it really comes down and adds up to what seems to be 3 players, and really 2 in specific, via free agency, I guess we could say, because Tarek Skubal still is out there. But Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker. You can also throw Cody Bellinger in there if you wanted to, but the 2 primary ones being Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker. Those are the biggest needs. And opening a roster spot, of course, has some sort of buzz to it when it comes down to these players. Now, Julian Scott also did tweet this out yesterday, a little bit, I believe, after the trade. I think only a few minutes after. Says the Blue Jays haven't blinked. Bo Bichette remains their guy, and they've stayed firmly in the mix. The Red Sox, Dodgers remain amongst the more aggressive. The rest of the market is cooled. But what once looked like a crowded market is quietly thinning as clubs look to pivot elsewhere. So the Dodgers still being among the more aggressive along with the Blue Jays and the Red Sox, is a very good sign. Specifically, once again, for Bo Bichette being a Dodger after coming out and really specifying that he would certainly be okay moving to second base. To me, that screams Dodgers. You know, if Bo was really interested in going back to the Blue Jays, I don't think he would have thrown that out there. I don't think that would have been something that you put out and kind of, let other teams know, unless you want to up your market. But still, I don't think that's the case. The Red Sox, if Bo wanted to go there, he would. It's an opponent to the Jays. It would be a direct competitor. And it really seems like that announcement was strictly made to Andrew Friedman and this Dodgers organization. Nobody else. So seeing this move now, the buzz about all of this Julian Scott tweet coming out a little while after or a little bit before one or the other, this trade went down. Dominoes seem to be falling, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, when we're heading into the new year, of course, tomorrow being New Year's Eve, we could be getting a very, very good kind of New Year's present, I guess. A New Year's celebration for another big win in 2025. And, of course, with all of these things dropping, all of these moves being made, we know that the Dodgers are not taking a break. Right now, if they want to get aggressive, they can get aggressive. And this seems to be preparing for whether it is a set of moves, whether it is a big splash. Something is dropping and something is coming very soon with this Esteury Ruiz trade. And like I said, whether it is someone else, it's a very good possibility. But when you're looking at right here, I just took this tweet from Deep to Center, Griff on Twitter, just kind of highlighting the top few kind of free agents remaining in the last few days of December before January. Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Cody Bellinger, Bo Bichette, Framber Valdez, Ranger Suarez, Zach Gallen, Eugenio Suarez, and JT Realmuto. All still free agents, and we can count out just about all of them except really 2 to 3. So whatever is happening, wherever a name you may see on this list be in a Dodgers uniform heading into next season or over the coming days, there's some good options, and there are some very good options. So this trade really may seem like one that is just, to get rid of one player and bring someone else in, but no, it is made for one roster move in specific that is still to be determined over the coming days or weeks with a roster spot now open on this Dodgers team. Ladies and gentlemen, something big is coming. Let me know what you think it could be, any of these players in specific, if you think it's something that, we needed to make a trade for, another trade for, or a trade coming, or if it's going to be a free agent signing. It's been all quiet so far over the last couple of weeks, but right now, things are continuing to heat up once again, and very rarely do you see this many players still available come January and still be kind of silent on their front. So the Dodgers are making quiet moves, and we're going to have to see what that entails. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring you every update from the fallout of this year over the coming days and weeks, every single day. You will not want to miss it, but that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.